What's going on, Eamon, and welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Mav, bringing you back to another Skull Nation meeting. This time we're gonna watch another game breakdown by Purple for the Win podcast. We're gonna listen to what Andy has to say about how the Vikings can beat the Seahawks in Seattle for the first time in 18 years. Let's go ahead and dive right in. My confidence is up because this is no longer a Mike Zimmer coach team. This is no longer a Kirk Cousins led team on offense, and then as far as the Seahawks go, this is no longer Pete Carroll led on coaching, and this is no longer Russell Wilson as the quarterback. This is no longer Legion of Boom defense. Seahawks, are they still going to be a challenge? Yes, every NFL team poses a threat. But let's see how big of a threat Andy thinks they are. Without further ado, let's get into it. Skull Vikings. Oops, sorry. My knee hit the doggone keyboard.
What's going on, Jerome's? Happy Friday. Minnesota Fine Vikings go on the road to one short day in the Emerald City. God. The Wicked's got a hold on me. Anyways, but the Vikings head out to Seattle, a.k.a. used to be Vikings West. And scheduling quirks, it always seemed like the Vikings played in Seattle in prime time. Happens, but Vikings late afternoon window.
From 2018 to 2021, we faced the Seahawks 3 straight times in Seattle. And we couldn't get a single one. It took one game. It took them finally to come over here to U.S. Bank Stadium for us to beat the Seahawks for the first time in the Pete Carroll years.
Ready to take on Gino and the Seahawks, which, you know, the Seahawks aren't an official species of birds?
They aren't.
They're just seagulls. Anyways, but the Vikings are looking to keep pace in the NFC North, well, actually, so late window, we'll know what happens with the Eagles and the Commies. I actually do think the Commanders and Jaden Daniels one time could beat the Eagles. Also, the Lions take on the crooked Chicago Bears. It's not a gimme. Even though the Bears have been eliminated, they're a mess right now. I mean, the Lions lost to Chicago in Chicago last year, and Detroit is in disarray with all the injuries. So, Vikings could know. Vikings could know that they could go to 13-2. What it do, and potentially have the top spot in the NFC when it's all said and done, right? And Seattle fighting for the playoff lives right now, losing the tiebreakers to the Rams, currently 8-6, so this is big. And also, allegedly, they got humbled by the Packers last week. Whatever. But Vikings here at 10 keys for the Vikings to come out with a victory and move to 13-2 on the season. Number 1. Ball security. Hang on to the
I like how he spelled ball.
Our bottom 5 in offensive turnovers. They're number 1 in takeaways. It's going to be wet, as it generally is in Seattle. That's what she said. But ball security is going to be huge.
That damn rain is going to be a problem if we don't condition ourselves for it.
Not only on offense, but also I think defensively. We got a couple chances to pull a couple of Peanut Tillmans, like take away. Well, that kind of frustrates me. What happened to the ball punch?
Get these advertisements out of here, man.
It's your craft.
I feel like, especially in a violent game, hey, if you don't knock the ball out, you literally legally get to punch someone. And if they give you, if the refs gives you stick for it, I was literally just going for the ball.
That's only happening in NFL Blitz, the league, okay? Or Andy, it's not happening in this version of the NFL.
You punch someone who didn't have the ball. Don't care. Don't care. So, Vikings, it's almost like a moot point at this point. It's just so ingrained that it should go without saying, but it does need to be said. All right, so take care of the football. Darnold, no picks. Aaron Jones, hang on to the frickin' rock. Same thing on special teams. And defense, take it away. Take it away now. Plus, I mean, it's kind of nice because Gino will definitely serve up a meatball or two. He's got that going for him. Number 2, slinging Sammy Darnold shine. So spotlight is on Darnold, and Sammy had some rough patches against the Bears, but got it done when they needed to get it done. That that shot to Jefferson down to the one against Chicago really was the dagger. And with Darnold, is something going on with his pinky? Who knows? He's not on the injury report, but hopefully that accuracy it remains. And I honestly feel like some of Darnold's throws are some of the best I've ever seen from a Vikings quarterback. So Kurt had his moments. Sam Bradford, when he was healthy,
no, Sam Bradford for that 5-0 stretch in 2016 has some of the best throws of his career.
2 seconds, he dropped dimes, man. He really did. But Darnold has been looking fantastic. He's been playing like an MVP candidate. Last 3 games really solidified that Pro Bowl stat.
Even if Darnold doesn't get MVP, there's one award he's definitely locking in for sure, and that's the Comeback Player of the Year. He has to win that one.
Even though, yes, the Vikings won't be playing in the Pro Bowl because they'll be playing in the Super Bowl. And get your dollars up, man. Hey, the more you get paid, the more we get in compensatory picks in 2026. Or the more your value goes up in a tag and trade, which is going to be fantastic. Number 3, Aaron Jones monster game. So this is starting to get to Aaron Jones time. Right, so the last 5 games of the season last year with the Greasy Grimy Green Bay Packers, Jones put on a show. 5 straight 100-yard games, 6 yards a carry. And, I mean, Jones is really starting to feel it now. And knocking down all the wood. The Vikings have been very proficient at running the ball. After they struggled with 2 straight 3-and-outs to start the second half against Chicago, Kevin O'Connor remembered, oh yeah, we could run the ball. And offensive line-wise, like those guys do thrive in running the ball. It's really good to get some confidence going early. Plus, on the road,
the run protection has been dynamite. I will agree with Andy there on that. The run protection has been dynamite. If we keep that up, we can definitely win this game.
Take the crowd out, even though the crowd might be half purple. I'm not talking about Washington Huskies either, man, because, I mean, the 12th man is gone. It's gone with the wind. I mean, but more than half of that stadium was Packers colors last week. It's kind of crazy. But
wow.
Getting some confidence going with the offensive line, having play action be viable, taking the crowd out, that's going to be huge. Plus, Aaron Jones can get it, man. It's going to be fantastic. Number 4, Addison goes off if they double Jets, which certainly could be part of the deal. So Jordan Addison, last 3 weeks, has looked like an absolute superstar. He had the 3-touchdown game, and he certainly benefits from Jefferson getting all of the attention, even though JJ still definitely gets his. And Seattle defensively, so they're not the Legion of Boom anymore. And Mike McDonald.
Exactly what I've been saying. It's no longer the Legion of Boom. We should win.
Head coach of the Seahawks, former DC of the Ravens, and their secondary you really do have to respect. All right, so you got Josh Jobe, you have Tariq Woolen on the outside, Witherspoon working the slot, but also he works on the outside quite a bit as well. Safeties Julian Love, who's been a damn stud, as well as Kobe Bryant, the converted corner. I mean, the secondary is pretty damn solid. Also, they got Rashawn Jenkins working in there as well. Now, if and when they do double or triple Jefferson, which they will tend to do, I actually think that Spoon would be drawing a lot of Jefferson. Tariq Woolen on the other side, like, he is a physical freak, he is imposing, he is long and lengthy, but he can get got. Woolen has allowed 6 touchdowns in coverage this season, and he has a tendency to get beat deep, which all holds up with Addison. And Addison, like, even though it is a physical mismatch, stupid Tyreek Stevenson can play that. Well, he's 135 pounds. Shut up. Shut your face. Like, pound for pound, Addison has definitely beefed up, and he's definitely been tough as hell, especially being physical through the catch point, deep. And I think that's going to be a big-time Jordan Addison game. Also, it should be a big Hockenson game, but
yeah,
we complained about that earlier.
I need to see a game where Hockenson just takes over.
5, pass protection. So the Vikings up front.
Big problem.
Hey, right, so Cam Robinson has to bounce back. Like, his 4-penalty game was unacceptable. O'Neal has been an absolute warrior out there. Brandel, Bradbury, Reisner, they've had some ups and downs. And also, it's not just the O-line. It's communication with the running back. It's Oliver and Hockenson blocking on the edge as well. So they, as a unit, they have to get everything together. And Darnold, Sam, I feel like this vacillates back and forth. Like, this is an issue in the middle of the season. You got to get rid of the ball, right? And Kevin O'Connell needs to know this too. I understand that Darnold and O'Connell, they want to knockout punch every single play. They want the haymaker. They want the deep ball. And plus, it is fun. Like, in that Falcons game when Darnold is just feeling it, he's got the huevos. Like, every single play he wants to be a 50-yard touchdown. Can't have that. And I honestly do think that the the Seahawks secondary is going to be so preoccupied with Jefferson and Addison, the middle is going to be wide open. So whether it's Hawkinson, whether it is Oliver, whether it's Aaron Jones leaking out of the backfield, I mean, the Vikings, if they can get the ball out quick and Darnold gets a rhythm early, and you're not allowing that prodigious Seahawks pass rush to be able to get to you, you're kind of good because
especially that D line. That D line looks freaking scary with Jaron Reed and Leonard Williams and Draymond Jones as an edge rusher on it. Do not let it happen. Do not let them have a day. Offensive line, y'all got your work cut out for y'all. That's all I'm gonna say. If I were the Vikings coaching staff, I would assist Kevin O'Connell into, I would try to engage him into running more outside zone.
The top five in their D-line rotation. Leonard Williams is an absolute stud. Murphy, the rookie, has been working in and out, but Jaron Reed, Draymond Jones, Haskins, if he's healthy, as well as, of course, Derek Hall, as well as our guy Boye Mafe, former Gopher, they've combined for 24.5 sacks and 70 quarterback hits, so they can get after things, and they're starting to get healthy. So getting the ball out of Darnold's hands quick is going to make the difference here. Next up, number 6. Write Geno off, make him right back. So Geno has been dinged up as of late, offensive line-wise, which we'll get to. It's been sort of rough. Now, I have tons of respect for Geno. He is a gamer. He's tough as hell, and also he can sling it. Plus, he's sort of like Darnold. He's a gunslinger. He has no conscience. He'll make a couple of mistakes, but he'll still beat you. Actually, Geno's more like Baker than anything. But that knee, he's been fully practicing, but likely going to have limited mobility. Also, under pressure, his quarterback rating drops 50 points from 107 down to 50 and change. Also, 11 of his 13 interceptions have come when he's been moved off the spot. So if and when the Vikings pass rush gets to Geno, it certainly could be some yum-yum time. Next up, number 7, part and parcel, cave in the right side of the Seattle offensive line. So the Seahawks, right side of their offensive line, they've had some issues there. Now, Charles Cross at left tackle, stud. A future Pro Bowler, All-Pro in the making. Laken Tomlinson is aight. And they've had some issues at center. Oluwatimi, former Michigan man.
And Phillips and Tillery should get some pressure. Ja Ward, they should get some pressure up in there. Jay Bull, they should get some pressure then. You know what I'm saying? And I don't care who's on the right side, be it Gink or Johnny G, but it could be some sackages, maybe another stretch sack from good old Johnny G.
He came in after Connor Williams retired abruptly. Hopefully Connor Williams and his medicals, hopefully this isn't it, but it's not looking great. But Oluwatimi also got dinged up in the Packers game, was replaced by the rookie Jalen Sundell, but it looks like Olu is going to be good to go for Sunday. But that right side, so Sadaoa Lomea, the rookie out of Utah, 10 pressures and a sack allowed against Green Bay, which is not.
We all hate ads, that's a fact. The real question is, why don't you have an ad blocker yet? The internet is so overrun with ads, it's barely usable. That's why Pi is such.
Shut up.
Which is not good. Also, right tackle Abraham Lucas, the pride of Washington State, 5 pressures, 2 sacks. So you can make some hay on that right side of the Seahawks offensive line. Now, defensively, the Vikings, generally, they've always rushed Grenard from, well, not always, but most of the time they've rushed Grenard from the right side of the defense, left side of the offense. So Grenard versus Cross is going to be a heavyweight matchup. And if they keep to that, AVG, Diamond Dallas Turner, who's starting to heat up a little bit. The way that he took Darnold right to the train station against the Bears. That flexibility around the edge, kind of love that. So this could be the breakout Dallas Turner game, especially with Patrick Jones still limited with that knee. So I think that the Vikings certainly can make some hay on the right side of that Seattle offensive line. Next up, number 8. Don't let Jackson Smith and Jigba destroy you. JSN,
he's a monster.
He's looking really damn good, man.
He's a monster.
So JSN as well as Jordan Addison look to be the class of the receivers from the 2023 class. And
I'm very, very scared of the secondary with JSN, Donkey Kong Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett. I'm very, very scared. That's probably my only fear. That's why I want the pass rush to get home, because if Geno Smith has enough time in that pocket, he's going to get the ball to his guys. And if the coverage is bad, it could be a long day out there in Seattle.
And yes, all the talk is DK Metcalf, and he's a stud. he's a physical specimen. He'll beat you deep. He is physical, yes. And Tyler Lockett, the ageless wonder, the pride of Kansas State, still has something left, but JSN has taken it to another level. He's top 5 in receiving yardage this season. He's been a fantasy football darling, and JSN this season, 85 catches, 994 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns on 114 targets. All 4 of those categories, he leads the Seahawks. Right, so that is where the bread is buttered, and also the Vikings do seem to have issues at times with high volume slot receivers because generally the Vikings defense still stays static against them. So you look at Amon-Ra St. Brown. I mean, they just play according to Hoyle, but could Murph? By the way, Murph, pride of the University of Washington, go Huskies. He returns to Seattle, so it could be a big-time homecoming game for him. I mean, could Murph drop down into the slot and trail JSN? Certainly a possibility, but getting some contact on him off the line of scrimmage. Also, the Vikings blitzes getting home certainly could be a huge part of making some hay on Sunday. Next up, number 9. Limit chunk runs. So the Seahawks, at the end of the day, they want to run the ball. Right, and Geno's it has certainly been solid, but also his knee will take away some ability. Like, Geno's not a running quarterback, but he can move on you. Like, he can pick up the sticks on third down, which is just so frustrating. But, I mean, the Vikings play a ton of zone on third down anyway. But with Kenneth Walker III returning to practice in full, Zach Charbonnet, limited with an oblique injury, but should be fine. They're one of the best running back duos in the National Football League. And Kenneth Walker III, if he's healthy, he's good to go. He's a top 5 running back. In terms of volume, in terms of quickness, in terms of power, in terms of vision, patience, everything. He is really tough. And Walker and Charbonnet have combined for 26 runs of 10-plus yards a season, combined 15 rushing touchdowns, as well as an average of 3.4 yards after contact. So if and when the Vikings defense, which is allegedly number 1 in the league against the run, play your gaps, play discipline, scrape free linebackers, Blake Cashman, Grugier, Metellus in that mix as well. One more game until Pace Jr. gets back. I mean, you got to be on your game, right? No breakdowns in discipline, no breakdowns in cutback lanes, and when you get to the running back, tackle him. You got to bring him down. All right, so shutting down the running game, making the Seahawks one-dimensional, getting some heat on Geno, moving him off the spot, especially with that knee. It's going to be the name of the game. Lastly, number 10. Clean up special teams.
Thank you.
So, I mean, it was great beating the Bears, but special teams were a bit of a disaster.
Yes.
I mean, Reichert is going to be perfectly fine, but also he did have Trent Sherfield. I mean, running into the punter.
Yeah, that's not good.
Like he got a piece of that, but he still can't have that because special teams errors and giving the other team fresh downs and new life, like those are just momentum killers. And as we've seen, momentum is a real thing. Plus, limiting hitting yardage on returns, making your kicks, no dumb penalties. Protecting Ryan Wright as well. Don't have that stupid theatrics like they had against Chicago. So clean up the third phase. It's been kind of hit or miss. It's been really polarizing this season. Either they've been great or they've made myriads of issues.
Right. They're never like mediocre. It's either it's very, very bad or very, very good on depending on the play.
It's a mistakes and issues, right? So clean that up, be good in the third phase, and go from there. Final score prediction.
No.
Together, we will save our people from this tortured existence.
I'm not playing this stupid game.
So, Vikings fans travel. Seattle's a fantastic city to visit. I think that there's going to be a lot of purple in that crowd. I'm not talking about Washington Husky purple either. I think that the Vikings, they understand, and they understand you can control what you can control one game at a time. And that is going to be the mentality they go in. But also, there's going to be a little bit of scoreboard watching. What happens with the Bears and the Lions, what happens with the Eagles and the Commies. And for the Vikings, this is a golden opportunity. This is a test on the road, tough place to play, even if Seahawks fans aren't the 12s anymore. It's going to be tough. And you have a team that's 8-6. You have a team that can play with the best in the league. They can also look as terrible, right? Really depends on the day, but you can't take them lightly. You have to go in. You got to start fast. You got to run the ball. You got to get a couple 3-and-outs. Defense has to bring it, and the defense has to put Geno on the ground. Get a couple turnovers, take care of the football, and brave the elements. It's gonna be rain a little bit, and just go from there. So I think the Vikings, and O'Connell knows it too. Like, this team has a chance to have a statement win they have a chance, if the games go right, to potentially come away as the 1 seed after this week, and then just play downhill. You control your own destiny, win out. Beat Seattle, beat Green Bay, beat Detroit. You win the division, you probably have the 1 seed, and just go from there. Right? But one game at a time, go in there, have there be no doubt. Beat Seattle's ass, and let's go, baby. Give me Vikings 30, Seahawks 20. Yeah, that 20.
I was thinking Vikings 24, Seahawks 17, but that's good enough.
Amazing garbage time. We'll catch up mode. But that's it. That's it. Viking Seahawks preview. Let us know your thoughts, your keys, your final score.
Here's my special key. Get over the history you have in Seattle and realize what team you are now versus what team you are in the past. Because the Vikings have not won, like I said earlier in the video, they've not won a game in Seattle since 06. I hope they can get over that and realize how badass of a team they are. But with that being said, thank you, Andy, for this amazing game breakdown on 10 Keys to Victory. Thank you guys for joining me. You know what I'm saying, reacting to them, you know what I'm saying. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you are a Vikings fan or if you just like football in general, you know what I'm saying. I'm a fan of the sport, but I'm a fan of the Vikings first. Until then, man, I'll see you all next week when I react to somebody previewing our second meeting with the Green Bay Packers where we host them. Till then, take care, y'all. Deuces.